Hello everyone, welcome to Gradeup, welcome to our revision set 5. You have done 4 sets of revision before this on CAT 2020 reading comprehension. My name is Savitri Krishnamurty. I am going to take you through your VARC revisions along with all your VARC preparations for CAT. Before we start, I have a few important announcements for all of you. Number one, starting today from noon till tomorrow noon, Gradeup is conducting a scholarship test for all CAT 2021 aspirants. So if you are appearing for CAT 2020 but would also want to say, okay, I'm doing it just for this, but let me also take my chances for 21, do sit for the scholarship test. There are 2 advantages of taking the scholarship test. One, you can benchmark yourself and find out what exactly where you stand, where the CAT preparations are concerned. The other one is hello Tahrima. The other one is, if you do well in this test, you get 100% off. If you do really well and you're among the toppers, you get a huge percentage off the CAT courses, almost as much as the entire course fee waived. There are scholarships worth 20 lakhs, so there is a lot at stake. So do register yourself, go to the app and register yourself for the test. In the app you find the link and register yourself for the test. The other one is Diwali is around the corner, and as you know, everyone who believes in Diwali believes that one should spread joy. So Gradeup's way of spreading joy is giving you huge discounts on courses, especially on Gradeup Super. Alright, so think of that too. There are a lot of discounts which are there on the app. Please go and see it. I could not put the slide on my slide because I was busy editing it till the last minute. My mistake. Alright. Now, before we start the class, I'm just giving you 2 slides of all the classes that we have scheduled for you, some of which are obviously done. Today is practice set 5, so the second slide would be more useful. Take a screenshot. You have from tomorrow you have set 6 and you have DI. Monday you have number system and DI, and so on and so forth, till the 10th practice set for RC on November 18th. Alright, so make sure you attend these classes. Again, take the scholarship test, those of you aspiring for CAT 2021, and do look at those Diwali offers on the Gradeup app. Alright, so what are we going to do today? We are looking at 3 passages today. I will try to push in 3, if not then we'll do 2 passages with 4 to 5 questions in one. The passages are quite easy, not very difficult. We will follow the same method, that is, I will give you 45 seconds to a minute to read the slides depending on the number of paragraphs in the slide, and then after we finish the slide I will show you the questions, right? After that only we will start discussing the questions. So once I show you the questions, we go to the next one. Try not to see the answers and move on. All right. Okay. So are you set for it? All of you? Shall we start the first passage? All right. Your time starts now. 45 seconds for this. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. All right. Read the passage. The last slide had only a few lines. Read it for 10-15 seconds before we move on to the questions. All right. Now remember, I'm going to show you each question for a minute. Read the question, read the options, and then tell me quickly if you want me to show some part of the passage again, or you can answer the passage as it is. Okay, let's start. First question. Which of the I will not tell you the answers till we are done with all the questions. Which of the following is not true according to the passage? He is not asking you which of the following is true. That means one is definitely against what has been stated in the passage. Okay, which of the following is not true according to the passage? Read the options quickly. Tell me if you want me to show you which paragraph of the passage again, first slide, second slide, or third slide, whatever, or you can answer. Give me your answers. I will not tell you if you're right or wrong. We will move on to the next question because it is a revision class. All right. China wants India to occupy a position corresponding to its stature. India has not been able to register presence in the UNSC because of China's intervention. China has showed willingness to act as a mediator between India and Pakistan pertaining to the Kashmir issue. India should do as China did in the 70s and 80s. All right. Shall we move? Okay, next question. I have seen some answers. Okay, Manasvi, Muhammad Naved, Ayush, Tarun. All right, don't look at the answer before we move on to the next question. What would be an appropriate title for the passage? What do you think is a good heading or title for the passage? Give me the question number along with the answer. All right. Manikantha also. Give me the question number. So one, I have understood that the first one that you've given is for the first question. Second question, what do you think is an appropriate title for this passage? Seeking a finer balance, a bold diplomatic initiative, being Atmanirbhar, or the big takeaway? What do you think is a good heading for this passage? Vidhi has come up with an answer. Okay, Prasanna. I will put it on. Okay. Muhammad Naved, Vidhi, Ayush all seem to think one answer. Ayush is, of course, different answer. Prasanna, Manasvi. Okay. All right. Do you want me to put this on public view so that you can see each other's answers? Okay. All right. Quickly, don't look at the answer when we move away to the next one. Okay. What can you infer from the, okay, Vasuki, thank you. What can you infer from the passage? What can you infer from the passage? It means India, huh? Which of these statements can you infer from the passage, from what you remember reading? In order to achieve economic independence, India has been disengaging with China. India's vendetta means revenge. India's revenge with Pakistan came to a halt with China's intervention. India is not in a position to challenge China head on and should therefore work in a calibrated manner. The pacts made by both the countries with respect to territorial rights were unclear and therefore have to be redefined. Tarun and Pranav have come up with answers so far. Nikita, all right. Okay, Vasuki too. All right. Ayush also, all right. I'm not saying who's right or wrong. What about Manasvi, Prasanna and all? What are your answers? Okay, moving on to the next question quickly. What is an assumption of inherent assumption? That means India has been decoupling, economically decoupling with China in the name of Atmanirbharta, and behind this, what is the basis of this intention or this act of decoupling with China, moving away? What do you think is the premise? It has decided to move away from China, economic decoupling. So what is the premise behind it? The benefit of trade relations with China is mutual and not unilateral. The Atmanirbhar Abhiyan is a result of the face-off in the Himalayas for the past several months. India's trade agreement with China was one-sided to begin with. Atmanirbhar Abhiyan will make India a leader in the domain of manufacturing. This is one question for which you need to go back to the passage. Do you want me to go back, or do you remember what has been said and you want to mark the answers? Okay, it might as well take you back to the passage. All right. Here, what has happened is it has taken initiatives in the direction of economic decoupling with China in the name of Atmanirbharta. It has not taken India very far in terms of making an impact. All right. India is inferior to China in every way. So India has decided to decouple itself from China in the name of Atmanirbharta. So what is the what is the inherent assumption behind it? What do you think is the basis of this decoupling? Is it the result, or is it one which happened? Okay, I'm not going to, we will discuss it later. Okay, answers for 4 quickly. Bhaskar and Ayush, please give the question numbers. But yes, Bhaskar and Ayush think it's C, Tarun thinks it's B, Vidhi thinks it's B. Answer 4. I'm waiting for the answers from the other lot, Prasanna, Manasvi and others. Okay, quick guys. All right. Answers for 4. I've only got it from one side. All right, now let's move on to the other one quickly. What is the tone of the author in the passage? He's talking about India, China. He's talking about what India should do, correct? He's giving some, so what is the tone of the author? Suggestive, informative, reassuring, or exhortative, not extort, sorry, exhortatory or exhortative, both mean the same. Okay, I've got some answers for 4. Param and Prasanna, C and D, different answers altogether. Okay, all right. Question 5. What is the tone of the author? Is he just making a mild suggestion? Then it's suggestive. Is he just giving us information without making any suggestions or giving any advice? Then it's informative. If he's saying, don't worry, India will be fine, it is reassuring. Or if he's saying positively, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this for positive results. What is he doing? So depending on that, you decide on the tone. All right. Okay. Now let's go back to the passage. Okay. India has been bravely confronting a face-off in the Himalayas for the past several months. It has been building creative issue-based alliances with the US and Asian majors like Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Indonesia and Australia. It has taken some economic initiatives like economic decoupling with China in the name of Atmanirbharta, but it has not, all these steps have not taken it very far in having an impact on China. China is not interested in equilibrium with any of its Asian neighbors, least of all India. It wants to build a hierarchical order with itself at the top, obviously. It wants India to occupy a slot in the hierarchy commensurate, means equivalent to its power status, and China thinks India is not its equal in any way in terms of economic strength, GDP and growth trajectory, far behind in military and overall capability. So it thinks India is inferior in every way to China. So in the Asian hierarchy, China sees itself at the top and doesn't see India anywhere near the top. Second, China is ruthlessly resisting India's access to the UNSC and to nuclear supplier groups. To keep India tied at that level, it is objecting to India's strategic proximity to the US. It is encircling India strategically and economically through economic and strategic corridors like the BCIM, the CPEC, and the Trans-Himalayan Connectivity Network. Through all these alliances, it is trying to isolate or kind of encircle India. It's raising issues like Kashmir in the United Nations and establishing footprints in the Indian Ocean. What should India do? This is where the author's tone comes in. What should India do to explore alternatives to equilibrium while continuing to work on its present approach in a quiet and calibrated manner? One step, adjust with China, at least tactically for some time, as China had done with the United States in the 70s and 80s. Such an adjustment would be based on mutual give and take. Critical areas of priority for us could be identified and built an approach on. So you should build an approach to China based on your critical areas of priority. Our first priority is to build the border dispute, to resolve the border dispute. Past formulas of different packages may be invoked with innovative redefinition. So redefine past packages that you've had with China and other countries to make it wherever necessary and practical, redefine it. Second, China has offered to mediate between India and Pakistan on Kashmir. Make China prevail over, means make its influence felt on Pakistan to resolve the Kashmir issue. So make China work in India's favor where Kashmir is concerned. So it can't just keep taking from China. What should give China in return? It could offer access to China's commercial cargoes to the seas through the Nathula Pass. It could join China's Belt Road initiatives. It could do other things like work on the BCIM proposals carefully, work with China, work with Nepal, make Nepal happy, and also tactically join CPEC so that it can work with Pakistan in POK and Balochistan. So he's given a whole lot of things that India should do. So if India says we want to work with Pakistan in Balochistan and POK, Pakistan would resist, but China would would persuade Pakistan. This is the author's optimism. and India still has, and as far as China's influence with other Indian neighbors are concerned, he says India still has enough economic goodwill and cultural capital with its neighbors not to worry about it. Alright, so the author sounds pretty pepped up on this, the advice that he is giving. I wish it could work. Alright, question 1. Which one is untrue? A is definitely true. He says, based on the hierarchy, China wants India to occupy a position commensurate with its status, equivalent, equal in terms of its power and position. It's not at the top, so it cannot get a position at the top of the hierarchy. So A has been mentioned, so not untrue. India should do as China did in the 70s and 80s with regard to the US. So this is to the US. This part hasn't been mentioned, so this is half an answer, but still could be taken as true, so your question mark. China has showed, this is also true, yes, China wants to mediate between India and Pakistan. So therefore, is it this or is it this? Now, China has resisted, but China has not been, how can China intervene or obstruct directly in the United Nations? So India has not been able to get a permanent seat in the UN Security Council. China has resisted it, he hasn't said directly that it has intervened. So between B and D, B is a better answer. Because this has been mentioned, this is a rather vague answer, but still it's okay. Alright, therefore it is B. Second question. Appropriate title. What is the big takeaway? Takeaway is a gain, remember. Takeaway means gain. So he has not said India has gained anything. Atmanirbhar is only one of the points made in the passage. What is the bold diplomatic initiative he is talking about? One of the ones he says is it could do this. So seeking a finer balance, I would have liked it if it had said this. But you won't get an option served to you on the plate the way you want it. So the best of the bad options is A. Seeking a finer balance. The equilibrium, China is not agreeing with the balance or equilibrium that India wants. So what should India do? Try to get a finer balance which will match its priorities by giving China a little and taking a little. So it should work with a little intelligence in a stepwise manner. What can you infer from the passage? Third question. Okay. In order to achieve economic independence, India has been disengaging with China. Economic disengagement is true. It has been mentioned in the passage. Second, vendetta you cannot say. Okay, so B. This has been already mentioned. There is no inference. This is not correct. India is not in a position to challenge China head on, and therefore it should work in a calibrated manner. The author says that India's approach should be calibrated. So you can infer that because it can't head on China, all right. Again, here the problem is economic independence from China. Okay, it's economic disengagement with China, not exactly economic independence. So this is both broad in terms of what has been said and can't be inferred. All right. And he has not said anyway about unclear territorial rights, so this cannot be inferred. So the correct answer is C. All right, some of you got it, many of you thought it is A. Okay, fourth, inherent assumption. Why would India try to disengage economically from China if it didn't lose much, right? Therefore, now remember, the benefit of trade relations is mutual and not unilateral is too general. It hasn't benefited India that much if it had said, which is what C is saying. Now, you don't know if this is a result of the phase off. He says In Himalayas, it has done this, then it has tried economically, it has tried other this. You don't know if the economic disengagement is the result of the Himalayan standoff. That's the assumption you're making. He's just mentioned 3 facts, and you're assuming that the third fact he has mentioned is a consequence of the first, which is, you can't say definitely true. Therefore, the answer for 4 is C. Got it, all of you? Understood? Yes. Okay. Next, tone of the author. Which one do you think? So, he starts by talking of the problems we are having with China, then tells what India has done so far, and then goes on to talk about what exactly should India do to make the most of its relationship with China. So, it is much more positive than just suggestion. It is not just giving information. There is no reassuring tone. So, exhortatory, which means exhortatory, means to inspire, to motivate, to positively push you. This is what you should do. This is what you should do. So, it is advice given with confidence, saying if you follow this advice, this is going to work. Therefore, between all the options, A is a little too mild, because the author has very categorically talked about what India should do. Therefore, the best option among the given ones is this. Though I feel this also is a little too strong, this is too mild. All right. Okay, next passage. Again, he is not praising, he is given us Prasanna. Half the passage he has given his ideas on what India should do. So, the author is obviously an ex-diplomat, somebody in or a present diplomat, somebody in the foreign service, somebody who knows exactly what's happening in India and China. He's an authority, obviously. So, what he's saying seems to be said with authority, the advice he's giving. So, suggestive is a little too mild, exhortatory is a little too, I thought, a little too strong, okay, but it's okay. Advisory would be better, but it's okay. Exhortatory, I can live with it. All right, the next one is a fantastic passage. Again, I'll give you 45 seconds per slide. Please read it and we'll answer all questions before we discuss it. Start. This passage would be a fantastic passage for vocabulary also. There are lots of nice words here. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, I will show you the first question now. Voltaire's answer could be a befitting reply to which one of the following questions? If God did not exist, it would be necessary to create him. That was Voltaire's remark. So this, and if this is treated as an answer, it would be a reply to which question? If God did not exist, it would be necessary to create him, said Voltaire. His answer could be a reply to which question? That sentence could be seen as an answer to which question? Because if you remember, the first paragraph started with this. One notorious answer comes from Voltaire, the 18th century French polymath. I told you this passage is fantastic for vocabulary. Polymath is a person who knows, who's an expert at various subjects. Okay, this is the answer he gave. So what do you think was the question? If God did not exist, it would be, we would have to, invent him. If God did not exist, God exists, but if he didn't, then it is essential to create a God. Why did he say it? Or what was that answer to? Bhaskar and Vidhi have given an answer. D, they say. Others, quickly, let me get your answers. Give me the question number. Yeah, question 6. Okay, you all have said 1, it's fine. Quick, guys. What is the question if this is the answer? Okay. B and D seem to be the most common answers. Prasanna and Paran think it's C. Toran thinks it's C. Tarun thinks it's the C. Sai Haresh A. All right. All answers are there. Let's move on to the next question. As religion offers tangible benefits to its adherents. What's an adherent? Here means together. Adhere means stick together. People who stick to a religion, follow a religion, are called adherents to a religion. Different societies invent particular gods they need. This is what the author says in the passage, that as religion offers benefits to the people who follow it, different societies invent particular gods according to the needs of the society, according to what benefits they can offer their adherents, right? Right? Answer for 7. Contemporary religious Satanism, a predominantly American phenomenon, is spreading world over as a result of globalization. Communist states like Soviet Russia and China adopted atheism as the state policy. They said there is no God and frowned upon even private religious expression. Secularism is on the rise, with science providing tools to understand and shape the world. Theocracy, a government operated under divine rule or the pretense of divine rule, has been adopted by many countries. Which do you think weakens the argument that societies invent gods depending on their needs? All right, answers are in. I see lot of answers. Okay, let's move on to question 8. Which of the following can you not infer? Cannot be inferred. That means one and all 3 answers can be inferred. One is irrelevant or cannot be inferred. As in it's already stated or in some way it cannot be inferred. Question 8. Faith reinforces conceptual rationalism needed for science and law. Owing to their small size, hunter-gatherers did not require a code of conduct and therefore believed in animatism. We read the meaning of the word. Larger societies need a big God, an omnipotent, omnipresent God who lays moral instructions. Islam was a result of the social fabric of 7th century Arabia. I'm going to take you back to the passage. All right. Here. From here. Okay. There are many functional here from here. Hunter gatherers kahan gaya? No, here. This paragraph and the next paragraph. All right, he says that Christianity survived because of its ethos of care. Then he said Christianity, that's because Christianity survived outbreaks of diseases. Islam attracted followers because of honor, humility and charity, which were qualities which were not there in the turbulent 7th century Arabia. Therefore, religion plays a particular form in society. Then he has talked about hunter-gatherers believed in animatism. Their morality was different. They were small groups, so they were very small, so they did not need abstract codes of conduct, but they needed something which was relatable in terms of their environment. All right. In the West, on the other hand, because they are larger societies, they believed in big gods. This will give you the answer to the question. Sorry. All right. So, in the context of what you read, if you want to change, otherwise I am going to change the question to the 9th one quickly. 9th one. What do you think the sentence author implies by this sentence? Because Voltaire was a trenchant critic of organized religion, this quip was often quoted cynically. Which quip? If God did not exist, it would be necessary to invent him. What does the author imply by this? Since Voltaire was against organized religion, his remark on human need being a precursor to invent God was interpreted cynically. Does he imply this? Or does he say, since Voltaire was against a structured system of faith and worship, his remark on the necessity to discover God was interpreted cynically? Or, since Voltaire was a disbeliever, his satire on the invention of God was misinterpreted and considered pessimistic? Or, since Voltaire didn't have a definitive answer on why religion was needed, and since he was against Christianity, he was considered a cynic? What is the answer for 9? A, B, C or D? I've got an answer only from Vasuki so far. Quickly type in your answers for 9. Voltaire was a trenchant critic of organized religion, so his quip is often quoted cynically. What does that mean? Okay, Vasuki, Bhaskar, Sai Harish. What about the others? Quickly give me your answers before we move on to the next passage. Next question. Okay. All right, let's go back to the passage now quickly. Okay, if God didn't exist, we would have to invent him, said Voltaire. He was a trenchant. Trenchant means sharp, incisive, cutting, scathing. He was a trenchant critic of organized religion. Because he was a critic of religion, and he is saying we have to invent God if he didn't exist. His remark is often quoted cynically, but actually when he said this, he was being very sincere. He was arguing that we need to believe in God. There has to be belief in God for a society to function, though he did not approve of the influence of the church, the monopoly of the church over people. All right, and many modern students of religion agree that we need religion. Why? That society needs religion, and this is called the functionalist view of religion. That means religion has a function to play in society. They believe that one reason is that it is needed to control the poor. The second one says that to support law, science and law, you need some kind of faith. So faith helps to build a support for science and law. But another reason that is given for it is that religion brings together the communities. It is a cohesive factor. All right. Then he says that there are many different factors that go into why faiths or religions endure, and certain religious movements are born and they die out, certain endure, and there are different reasons why some die out and some endure. One, basically he says that if a religion has to endure, if it has to sustain for a very long time, it has to offer the people who follow the religion certain benefits. Christianity's benefit was in its ethos. Ethos means a characteristic, a belief, a characteristic or a trait of a culture or a religion or a community. So Christianity was, according to him, Christianity's ethos was caring for the sick, because Christians, that is why Christians survived many outbreaks. So people believed that, okay, this ethos is working, so they stuck to Christianity. Islam survived. Islam attracted people to its religion because of its focus on honor, humility and charity, three traits which were not there in 7th century Arabia. But Christianity emphasized on these, which is why the religion attracted people to it. So religion has a function to play, and a society chooses a religion according to what it needs. Conversely, you can have similar societies with similar religions. All right, but there are always, of course, exceptions, he says. He says hunter-gatherers believe that all objects in nature, whether it's animal or vegetables, have supernatural aspects and they have supernatural forces. Why did they believe in it? Because the worldwide view makes sense. This worldwide worldview makes sense for groups too small to need abstract codes. Hunter-gatherers were too small to need an abstract code. So they knew their environment independently, which is why they believed that everything in their environment had something supernatural to offer. They didn't believe in anything else. But the other end of the spectrum, when you have teeming societies, what does teeming mean? Full, teeming millions, full, crowded societies of the West, they need to believe in an all-powerful God. You can't believe that everything around you has supernatural power. That becomes too abstract because you're too large. So therefore, what do you believe in? You believe in that one great all-powerful God who enforces moral instructions, who enforces rules of what is right and what is wrong. And these, he explains, Yahweh, Christ and Allah. Yahweh is the name of the Israeli God. Okay. So, Jews. So, every religion has this belief in one God, Christ or Allah or Yahweh or whatever you believe in. The psychologist says that the belief in big gods or one God allowed societies to be made up of large number of strangers. You are in a society of people you don't know. Hunter-gatherers are small groups, they know each other, they know their environment, but you are in this big Western society with a lot of strangers, but you believe in one God, so you can coexist quite peacefully with them. And the belief that God is there to make sure that you are doing the right thing at right times, you're not doing anything wrong. The fear and the belief in the moral instruction is what makes you obey that religion. But today our society is made up of so many different, we are diverse in terms of the religions we follow. Therefore, and you also have a lot of people who say we don't follow any religion. Either you have many religions or you have no religion. It doesn't matter. But what he says is, therefore we obey laws not made by that one great God, but laws made by the government. Khatam. Alright. Voltaire's answer, if God did not exist. I'm surprised many of you got this answer wrong. Exist, it would be necessary to invent him or create him or something, he says, right? What is it an answer to? Why is God necessary? What is the function of God or religion? So the answer for 6 is C. It's not talking about new forms, it's not talking about religions fading away. He doesn't say, is God a myth? Answer is yes, God is there. If he wasn't there, we will have to create him. So answer for 6 is C. See if that question answers, is God a myth? If God didn't exist. Myth means something which doesn't exist. Therefore, how will it be an answer? D was the most common answer you all gave. So the answer is C. If God didn't exist, do we have religion? Is God there? That's the exact question. Is God there? Well, if he isn't there, you should invent him. That means, yes, there is some sort of God. Okay. Question 7 weakens the argument that every society creates a God, invents a God according to their needs. Satanism must be creating a religious. Satanism believes in Satan, right? Secularism belief that religion is not the basis of state, so this doesn't weaken, this is irrelevant. Theocracy is belief in God, so the one that weakens is B. Why? Because this is a society, these are two countries and systems which did not invent God, which still functioned quite well. Therefore, this weakens the argument that societies create gods for their own purpose. You have examples of two communities which lived very well without God and without religion, which flourished without it. So the societies invent gods according to their needs. You have examples of societies which have carried on without inventing God and also not making people believe in God. Alright, so the answer for 7 is B. 8. Which one can you not infer? He talked, we need faith to give some sort of support to science and law. Hunter-gatherers, they know they are too small to believe in a code of honor, so they believe in the environment. Larger societies like the West need an omnipotent God because we live with strangers. Therefore, to make us coexist peacefully, at least we have to believe in something common, and that commonality is the one God who enforces rules. Islam was not a result of the social fabric of the 7th century. Islam attracted people to it because of its characteristics, focus on humility, charity and other things, which was not there in the 7th century Arabia. So people were attracted to it. So Islam was not a result of it. You cannot infer D. Many gave the right answer for this. Understood? Next question. What does the author imply? Just look at what he means. Voltaire was against organized religion. So his talking about the necessity of God can at best be seen as a cynical joke, can only be interpreted as a cynical statement. Voltaire was not talking about a structured system of faith and worship. He was against organized religion. That's it. Alright. So it is human need which has made you invent God. Okay. So he did not say that we have to discover God. This part is wrong. So B is wrong. B is playing with the same words as A, but Voltaire did not say all of us need to discover God. He said we must create an entity called God, which is not the same, right? And this is definitely wrong. He was not considered pessimistic. His thing was not misinterpreted. They interpreted it as a cynical statement. He did not. This was totally irrelevant. So the answer for 9 can only be A. Other options are clearly wrong. Okay. Do we have time for? No. All right. We can do this tomorrow. All right. We can do this tomorrow in the next class, because this is going to take some time. All right. We will do it in the next class. I've already taken up 1 hour of your time. So tomorrow we have the same practice set 6, and third one anyway is a direct passage. All right. We have a course for non-CAT MBA exams, Mission MBA, TISNET, CMAT, MAT, Maharashtra CET and all other exams. And the good part is that these exams, you have enough time to prepare for it. All right. So if you are interested in any of these exams, do find out about the upcoming courses. Again, before we wind up, those of you who are also interested in CAT 2021, do take our scholarship test for CAT 2021 happening from 12 noon today. So it is open till 12 tomorrow. Do take the scholarship test to benchmark yourself, find out how your CAT preparations are, and also give yourself a shot at earning a scholarship which would result in a total or a big percentage of waiver of your course fee for CAT, right? Also look at the big discounts that Gradeup is giving on the occasion of Diwali. It is only there for a limited period of time. I think today, tomorrow, for many, tomorrow is the last date. So find out about that. Call the number on your screen, go to the Gradeup app, register for the scholarship test, and also find out everything that is happening in Gradeup, so you don't miss out any of the initiatives that have been taken to help students. All right, so make sure you do that. The discounts, the Diwali discounts and offers that are on, the Diwali Dhamaka offers that are on, they're pretty good. Make sure if you're interested, Gradeup Super subscription, the subscription course has a big off. I think a big 40% off on the course fee. The subscription offer itself is a huge bonus, and they're taking 40% off. It means you're going to get it for a steal. No, Sai Harish, I would not like to put my neck on the line, but I don't think anybody can expect a student to do more than 25 questions per section in 40 minutes. I mean, I do not, though CAT has given like 100 questions and given it in there, right, as a sample, I don't think a student can be expected to answer 34 questions in 40 minutes. So I think 24, 25 per section, I do not think it can be more. That is my best guess. You actually, what we are doing in the mock series, we are giving all kinds. We are giving combinations of all tests. We have 20 question sets, 25 question sets, 34 question sets, 34, 32, 34 sets, so that the student is used to all variations of the test. So keep practicing with different variations, but realistically speaking, I don't think they can ask you more than 25%. They cannot. What do you think? It's some sort of a speed game. Is it just look at the question and just blindly answer? Then what are they testing? Are they really testing your reading ability? It cannot be done for reading comprehension unless they give you the kind of reading comprehension that is like given in schools, so multiple choice, very easy. A, B, C and D attended a function. Okay, who did not attend the function? E did not attend the function. Whereas the questions they don't ask you. So if there are inference questions, then you have to read the passage. You have to give some time to it. Even if you take 3 minutes to read a passage, and there are 5 questions, you spend 45 to 1 minute per passage, at least 8-10 minutes it takes. 8 minutes it will take per passage. So 24-25, that's my guess. All right. All right, so first thing you're doing after the class, go and register for the scholarship test 2021 aspirants. Go and look at the website for what discounts are on for you, which one works. All right, I will see you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow. We have again practice set 6. Let me see what is there. If there is time, I will include the passage that we left out today. It's an easy direct passage, so I'm not upset about not being able to cover it. All right. Okay, I'll see you guys very soon. Tomorrow, same time, I think. Bye-bye.